Imagine a gunshot inside one of the most luxurious apartments in Munich, 1931. A beautiful 23-year-old girl collapses on the floor, blood spreads across her chest. In her hand, Adolf Hitler's personal pistol. Her name was Geli Raubal. She wasn't just some random girl, she was his niece. And for 6 years, she was the only human being Adolf Hitler was completely obsessed with. This is the true story the history books don't want you to know. Geli Raubal was born June 4, 1908 in Austria. Her mother, Angela Raubal, was Hitler's half-sister. In 1925, Hitler had just gotten out of prison after the failed beer hall putsch. He invited his half-sister to Munich to work as his housekeeper, and she brought her 17-year-old daughter Geli with her. The moment Hitler laid eyes on Geli, everything changed. He was 36. She was 17. He called her my little ray of sunshine. What started as affection quickly turned into something dark, controlling, and dangerous. By 1929, Geli was living with Hitler full-time. She wasn't allowed to go to college, wasn't allowed to have friends, wasn't allowed to date. Hitler took her everywhere. Massive Nazi rallies, the Alps, opera houses in Berlin. Old photographs show her standing right next to him, always smiling for the camera. Behind closed doors, she was a prisoner. Hitler assigned SS officers to follow her 24/7. If she even talked to another man, Hitler lost it. There's a documented case where Geli smiled at a young Austrian officer. Within days, that officer was transferred to the front lines. He never came back. Hitler wrote her love letters, letters that have survived to this day, letters no uncle should ever write to his niece. Showered her with gifts, expensive jewelry, dresses, even a brand new car. The price was total control. Geli wanted to study medicine in Vienna. Hitler said no. She begged, he refused. He told friends, she belongs to me, only me. Then, in 1931, everything exploded. Geli discovered Hitler was secretly dating a 19-year-old girl named Eva Braun, his photographer. The fights became screaming matches that neighbors heard through the walls. On the night of September 17, 1931, the final argument happened. Geli demanded to be allowed to leave for Vienna. Hitler screamed, "You will never leave me. You are mine forever." He had a Nazi rally in Nuremberg the next day, so he stormed out of the apartment in rage, jumped in his Mercedes, and sped off. Less than 12 hours later, a single gunshot rang out. The maid found Geli on the floor of Hitler's apartment. She was wearing a simple dress. Hitler's personal Walther's 6.35 pistol was beside her body. The bullet had gone straight through her heart. She was still breathing for a few minutes, gasping. Was gone. She was only 23. He was 300 miles away when he got the phone call. Witnesses said he dropped the phone, fell to his knees, and started sobbing uncontrollably. He canceled the rally and raced back to Munich, driving over 90 miles an hour through the night. When he walked into the apartment and saw Geli's body, he completely broke down. He picked her up, kissed her cold face, and whispered, "I couldn't keep you alive." For 3 days, Hitler refused to eat or leave his room. He ordered Geli's bedroom to be locked and never touched again. It became a shrine. He hung life-size portraits of her in every house he owned. Every year on September 18th, he locked himself away and cried for hours. But here's where the story stops making sense. There was no suicide note. No gunshot residue on Geli's hand. The bullet entered at a strange downward angle, like someone taller shot her from in front. Police investigation lasted less than 24 hours. Then every file disappeared. Hitler personally ordered it shut down. So if it wasn't suicide, what really happened to Geli Raubal that night? Hitler have her killed because she wanted to leave and expose their relationship? Did Heinrich Himmler order the hit to protect the Nazi image? Or was Geli pregnant, and someone made sure that secret died with her? We're just getting started. Part 2 drops tomorrow, and I'm going to show you the evidence that proves this was no suicide. If you want to know the full forbidden truth, smash the like button right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because tomorrow we go full conspiracy mode. You won't sleep after this one. Bullets tore through the air. Somewhere ahead, soldiers from the American 99th Infantry were pushing forward. Behind them, German troops were collapsing under heavy fire, but Matthias Weber was trapped in his own mind. His squad shouted, "Weber, move! Get down!" But he couldn't. He kept seeing that same wide-eyed figure in front of him, calling him back into the snowfall. Ardennes had dropped to nearly minus 15 degrees Celsius. Many soldiers lost fingers to frostbite that winter. Matthias's frozen trigger wasn't about cold. It was something deeper, a fear bite. A wound carved by terror. Then he heard it, crunching steps in the snow. American boots. 5 U.S. soldiers moved down from a ridge. The German squad was nearly wiped out. Only Matthias could provide sniper cover, but he couldn't pull the trigger. His commander grabbed him by the collar. "Weber, if you don't fire, we all die! Shoot!" But Matthias heard something else. "Don't kill. They're human." It was the same voice from the snow. An American soldier spotted Matthias. About 40 meters away, he raised his rifle and aimed directly at him. For a second, time froze. 2 men, 2 rifles, 2 lives in each other's hands. The American soldier paused, lowered his weapon, and slowly nodded at Matthias, as if saying, "Go home. You're just a kid. In war, mercy is rare." But that night, something strange touched both men. Artillery fire blasted the forest. Trees shook, snow erupted, screams echoed. The German squad was falling apart, and then Matthias felt something behind him. He turned. The same white figure stood beside him, hollow eyes, frost drifting from its body. It reached out and placed a hand on Matthias's shoulder. Cold rushed through his spine. The voice whispered, "Run." And for the first time that night, Matthias moved. He crawled, then ran, and kept running through the dark forest until the gunfire faded behind him. Some say many soldiers disappeared in the Ardennes that night. Some bodies were found, some never were. But Matthias Weber lived. 3 months later, Weber was found in a German medical camp, quiet, alive, but changed. Doctors asked, "What happened that night?" Matthias answered only one thing: "He didn't want me to kill." Who? Weissermann, the white man of the snow. The German army dismissed it as hallucination, trauma, hypothermia. But years later, American and German veterans both reported seeing a similar ghost-like figure during the Battle of the Bulge. Americans called him the Snow Ghost. Germans called him Eisgeist, the ice spirit. Some say it was stress, some say imagination. Others believe it was something supernatural trying to protect broken souls on the battlefield. Matthias never touched a rifle again. He became a farmer, lived quietly, died peacefully in 1989. His last diary entry read, "That night my trigger froze. It wasn't from the cold. It was the last piece of humanity trying to survive inside a soldier."